So the struggle with outgrowing people is that you actually feel guilty because you think that they need to be in the places that you're in. Like we tend to base where we are in the world based on the people that have been around us. But I need you to understand that there are some stages that those people can't go into, whether it's relationships or whether it's the romantic relationships, or whether it's like platonic relationships, friendships, or family members, or even those things that you don't have to hate the people, but you can't bring them to the places where they're going to keep pulling you out of. Unfortunately, we have made attachments to people that aren't healthy for us. We've created loyalty in a place that loyalty shouldn't exist. And it's just loyalty for the sake of loyalty because they're not doing things for you that's actually helping your benefit towards you. What ends up happening is that you end up ruining everything else in your life, every possible trajectory, every possible growth, every possible thing that is meant to be in your life. You end up ruining those things because you think that the people that have been around you have to go with you. They don't. And it's not about being better than anybody else or hating other people. You can love people from a distance, but you don't have to bring them into these places. And when we outgrow people, we tend to feel guilty because we think, well, they have been there in certain stages, certain places, but I need you to also understand that yes, they may have been there, but were they actually there for you? Like we look at things through the scope of people just being present. Just because they're around doesn't mean that they're there. You can see people and they can be there, but if you really needed help, if you were in something serious, would these people authentically be around you? Would they care for you? And those are the people you end up not outgrowing, right? Because those are people who are actually benefiting you and actually helping you and actually being a part of your life and not just a leech in your life. They're actually doing something that's mutually beneficial to the both of you, not just something where they're benefiting from you. And outgrowing people has to be the toughest thing we ever do because the reality is that we're not ready for it. Like we're not ready for those seasons. We're not ready for those conversations. We're not ready to even think about the people that don't belong. But we have created a home with a lot of people around us simply out of convenience. It's simply because we're around or there was just a friendship or a family member that were just there. But we need to be able to weigh what's actually worth keeping and what's taken away. So how do we do that? Put it into this framework. Are these people actually doing something that's beneficial for me? Again, it's not about use. It's not about you saying, oh, I only keep you around because I can use you for something because now you're the person that needs to be outgrown, right? It's not about that sense of it, but is it something that's actually beneficial towards your life, or are they just interested in partying every day? Are they interested in just drinking every day? Are they interested in just when you can do something for them? This is the difference between someone that's beneficial for you and someone that's hurting you. If they're beneficial for you, they're going to push you. They're going to desire the best for you. They're going to want you to take those next steps. They're going to want you to grow. But unfortunately, we have given title and loyalty to people who just don't do these things for us. We just say, well, this has been my best friend my whole life. Yeah, but this person is leading you down a terrible road. You're constantly drinking, you're constantly smoking, you're constantly doing things you shouldn't be doing, and you think that this is a person worth keeping. Unfortunately, we tied that into our loyalty. We say, well, I'm so loyal, but why? You're loyal to a fault that you're going to end up killing yourself or ruining your life simply because you think that you have to stay in a place that you were called out of. Unfortunately, we don't look at people as what they can offer to us and what we can mutually benefit from. It's often the other side around. They see what they can benefit from you and they use you. So being able to understand, does this person benefit me? Are they actually good for my life? The next scope we look at is this person actually pushing me? And this is obviously intertwined with it too, but we have to realize that there's some people that when you make a decision or when you're struggling with something, they sit around and they just let you struggle. They let you drown. And it's not something that they're going to sit and talk and work with you, work through it. They don't offer any opinion or any validation or anything you might personally need. Unfortunately, these are people that, again, are there for convenience. And again, I don't mean people that just aren't the brightest, right? They don't have to be the smartest ever, but it's simply people who can actually sit there with you and unpack things. The problem is that we think that more people around us or more friendships or more relationships or more family members, whatever it is, we think that the more is the goal, and it's not. It's the quality, right? There's not quantity, it's quality. It's the quality of person that is around you, the quality of them caring, quality of them giving to you. These are the people that are going to be able to go into these next stages in your life because they're beneficial and mutually beneficial, and they're genuinely there for you. It's not just like a convenience thing. It's not they're just around because they're around. We have to understand that outgrowing people is one of the hardest things you will ever do, but it will be the most beneficial things you'll do. There's that old saying, right? If you're hanging around 4 drug addicts, you'll be the 5th, or if you're hanging around 4 rich men, you'll be the 5th. Whatever that is, it's just the reality that you become the people that are around you. You become the people that feed and sow into you, or you become the people that steal and rob from you. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. It's not about leaving people behind, because that's one of the biggest pains that we feel as when we outgrow people. We think, well, my loyalty is there and it's going to hurt me to leave. It's not about leaving them behind. It's about stepping into who you're supposed to be. There are some people that keep just pulling you back while you're trying to step into it, or you're trying to be the best version of you. They're more content with the old version of you. And that's also a fear thing. They end up doing those things because when they see you step into something more, it's harder for them to understand that they don't have control over you. They don't have that authority over you. When we outgrow people, it's not just, you'll notice the true colors of some people. You'll see people that are your friends, quote unquote, treat you poorly because they don't like the stages that you're in. They don't like things you're doing. They don't like where you're moving to. They don't like that it's not the status quo, because a lot of people like to stay in the flow of the river, right? They don't like to go against the current. So if they see you going against it, you're disrupting something. And for them, their desire is to keep you in the worst version of you, because that's the version of you they knew. That's the version of you they can control. Unfortunately, some people will get very mad at you when you begin to be the best version of yourself, because they can't control that version. They begin to sit here and look at you and think that you are this or that, or they'll call you names or call you out of character because you are being the best version of you. But when you have to outgrow people, you have to realize that that's going to hurt a wound in them. They're going to see that you're doing something that they could have done and chose not to, or they're going to see that you're doing something that is scary to them, and that's why they don't move and they don't grow. And when you're growing, they want you to stop. They want to stifle your growth. They want to stifle you, because they think that you doing these things is challenging to them. You have to be willing to outgrow people. And I know it hurts, and I know it's not something that anyone ever thinks, oh, I'm going to be in this stage, right? Because we don't go into relationships thinking, oh, I'm going to have to outgrow this person. No, we go into relationships thinking that these are people that are going to be around us forever. And it's just not always the case, and it's okay, right? That's part of life. Like I think it's easier when we're younger to deal with these things than it is when we're older, right? Because we think that loyalty is loyalty to a fault, and loyalty is I'm loyal to you even if it hurts me, and that's not loyalty. That's stupidity. Too many people are being loyal to things that are killing them, and that's why they're dying. And then they're looking around saying, why do I feel miserable or hurt? Of course, because you're pouring into a place that isn't pouring back into you. You have no energy. You're dying. You refuse to outgrow the things that are killing you. And you've become rooted and planted in that thing. So that thing now owns everything around you. We can't be loyal to things that are killing us. We can't continue to say, well, yeah, that's just my character. I'm loyal. No, you're stupid. And if you continue to do this dumb thing, you'll continue to be in this dumb pain. But until you realize that there are some people you have to cut out, it's like pruning, right? I always use this when I'm preaching, when I talk about how God prunes out of us. Is a botanist understands well that a healthy plant needs to be cut for it to grow even better. And there's certain things that need to be cut. There's certain people that need to be cut because they're weighing you down from the branch. They're pulling you away from the thing that you were made for. And if those things aren't cut, you're going to die because of them. I know it hurts to prune. I know it hurts to grow. But if we don't prune, if we don't grow, it's going to hurt so much more later on. Outgrowing people is one of the toughest things you will ever do. It's easy. I believe it's easier to break up with like a romantic relationship, but to outgrow that kind of relationship than it is like a family member or a friendship, right? Because we feel like our loyalty is to those people and to those things, and we don't really see the negative of it, right? We don't see the factors. Like in a breakup, you'll see that a person, they did something wrong or they treated you wrong, or it's easy to make that cut. And obviously not easy, but easier than that. But it's harder to realize that some people are actually hurting us, and our first thought is like, well, as a friend, I'm going to desire to save you. As a family member, I'm going to desire to save you. I'm going to do the things that I think are the best for you, and they're not. You end up hurting yourself trying to be something that you just can't be. Unfortunately, until we step back and say, you know what, I need to outgrow these people, you'll always be in the same place. You'll be plotted in the same pot and suffering in the same way. It's okay to outgrow. It's okay to move. It's okay to change. It's okay to say this thing no longer serves me. It's okay to say you're robbing me of my peace. It's okay to say it's okay to be real with you. Not everyone deserves to be in the stages that you're going to be going into. And if you continue to beg people to change or to be different or to come with you, all they're going to do is drag you down. Then you have no one else to blame but you, because you knew that you needed to move. You knew you needed to grow. You knew you needed to change, and you chose to stay. And it hurts and it's hard. But it hurts, and it hurts way more, and it's way harder to stay in the same place today that you were yesterday. You have to choose to change. You have to choose the thing that's difficult. You have to choose to leave the people. You have to choose to outgrow them. You have to choose to change you for the version of you that needs to live. You have to kill that version that you're stuck in so that new version can thrive. That's your biggest enemy. It's always going to be the version of you that needs to die versus the version of you that needs to thrive. And that version of you hates you. It doesn't want you to be this version because it knows that it's going to go. So it's going to challenge you in every way. It's going to make you feel miserable with yourself. It's going to tell you you can't. It's going to tell you don't do it. It's going to tell you it's unnecessary. It's going to tell you stay in the place that's killing you. But you need to kill it so that you, the real you, can thrive.